Good morning, internets. It is Friday morning, and I am in my comfy sweatshirt covered in cat hair because that's just the kind of day it is. Real quick, guys, this morning it is 47 degrees in Las Vegas, and I started out my morning with a 36-mile range on the 2012 Chevy Volt Premium, just for those of you keeping score at home. And please keep those facts and figures coming to me from those of you who drive Volts, or Volts in particular, but electric cars in general. Also, I just want to know what are the temperatures in wherever you're at. What changes do you notice in your daily range? How do the temperatures affect you? I know that pretty much everybody who drives an electric car has a reduced range in cold temperatures. Now, I realize that right now I'm reading 48 degrees. That hardly counts as cold temperatures for most of the country right now. It is chilly for here. It's not what the Volt's used to. So, yeah, that's what's up. And so today what I wanted to talk about was actually about my own car. I haven't talked about the Volt in a little while. And there hasn't been too much to report. Things have been pretty uneventful, which is the way you want things to be with your daily. And that's the way it's been. But right now, by the end of today, I will hit 4,500 miles that I have put on this car. So let's see, the amount of gas that I have used for my gas generator in here is 55.6 gallons of gasoline, that I've used so far in about 4,500 miles, which really not bad at all. And my average mile per gallon is, let's see, I'm getting 79.6, and then like by the end of the day it'll go like back up over 80, and then it'll come back down, and it's been like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, like that. Eventually we'll creep up over 80 and stay there, depending on the amount of driving I do. And it's still been so far the best car I've ever owned. Once we figured out what the issue was with that coolant sensor having gone bad, that is one thing that you need to look out for if you have an older Volt. The battery coolant level sensor is something that is known to go bad in these things after a few years. Mine went bad when the charge system was still under warranty. So I didn't have to pay to replace it, and I also didn't have to pay to transport the vehicle from Reno when the sensor failed. CarMax did all that for me, even though I was outside of my 30-day warranty with them. They still took care of me, just out of customer relations and kindness. So that was the only seriously negative experience I've really had with the car, and everything since then has been all gravy, knock on wood. But it drives great. I'm really, really happy with my mileage. Now, before I was driving an 06 Volkswagen Passat, and it was a very nice car, and I really enjoyed it. It was extremely comfortable. It was easy to drive, but it was very, very finicky, and the car had a lot of internal problems with power and problems in the motor, and it needed a lot of repair, and it needed a turbo replaced, and there were all these things that were wrong with it. But even when everything was working properly, the best mileage I ever managed to squeeze out of it was right around 45 to 50 miles a gallon. On the weekends I don't drive as much, so on the weekends I use no gas whatsoever. The battery charge is more than sufficient, and if I didn't have such a long commute, I'd probably never use any gas at all. There's a lot of people who look at the range on these things and like, 40 miles, that's not going to be enough. But for really most people who live in cities, it's absolutely enough. Most people aren't going to drive more than 20 miles, and that's why Chevy had this target, is that they knew that the average miles that people drive is about half of the daily range of this. So I think they did a good job with it. Now this is 2012. They've just come out with the new Volt platform. It's all new. They've redone everything, and I've seen those around town too. They're a little slicker, a little leaner, a little lower, a little less cheese wedgy, but still got the cheese wedge thing going on. They restyled the grill of the newer Volts. I still think the grill and the badge needs blacking out. I think that about most things, though. That's just a personal style preference for myself. Eventually, the plan with the Passat, I had a white Passat, and the plan for that was I was going to, smoke the lights and delete all the chrome and I wanted a black roof, and I wanted the tint, and I wanted to lower it, and I wanted black wheels, and, you know, I wanted that stormtrooper thing going on. Never actually got to that point because the car just didn't last long enough for me to be able to modify it and make it my own. But for this car, I had it for maybe 2 weeks before I blacked out the grille and the badges in both the front and back. And it's such a subtle change. It was such an easy thing to do. You know, Rob and I did it on a Saturday afternoon, hanging out in the garage together, and had a really, really good time doing it. And it was just so easy. The whole thing cost me $20. For those of you who don't believe in Plasti Dip, I know I said the P word. There's people cringing right now, like, oh my God, you put it on your car. Chill out, calm down. The product has changed in recent years. And I every single Friday, the day before my car show that I go to every Saturday, I run my car through a high pressure car wash with brushes and everything. And the Plasti Dip has not failed. It has not peeled. It has not dimpled. It has not rippled. It has not ripped. I have that flat, matte black look that I wanted on my grille and, on my badges. And it just looks good. It looks good all the time. And if I ever decide I want to change the color of it, maybe I, you know, get the car wrapped at some point. If I could ever afford that, I would love to wrap the car. I'd really love to wrap this car. I know it's a Chevy Volt Premium, and it has the custom tricolor paint that only came in the Premium. I know that, and it's a cool color, and I like it. But I did buy this car used. There are some imperfections, there are some blemishes, there is some damage in the paint on this car. Somebody, you know, got a couple dings and scratches over the couple of years that they owned it. And it looks like they went to Pep Boys and like picked the color matching pen and tried to fill in a few of the scratches, and they didn't really, like, you have to know what you're looking for to see it, really. But I know they're there, so like the paint isn't perfect anyway. I like the idea of wrapping it. If I ever did wrap it, what color would you guys want? I like the electric teal or bright blue, are some of my favorite colors. Obviously the pinks and the purples. I like peacock colors. So I would like want to wrap the car like that. It's something with a paisley print would be really cool. But you know, so there's some things I'd like to do with the future of the car. I would love to put new wheels on it. There is a car that GM made for a minute, and it was basically a Cadillac CTS with, but it was electric. It was on the Volt platform, and they just like put a Cadillac on top of a Volt, basically Volt interior. I think it was called the ETS, and it was a nice car. It only had 2 doors, so that was weird. I don't know. It was comfy like a Cadillac, but if you're gonna pay Cadillac money, I think I would want a little more than that car had to offer. But what that car did have was really bitchin' wheels, and I think that those Caddy wheels would look really good on this car. The wheels that Chevy put on it stock, they're not bad wheels. It's just like, you know, you get bored and you want to change thing on your car, and it can't stay stock. It can't stay stock. Now, this is not an internal combustion car, and there's like a lot of things we do to our ICE engine cars. I guess that was redundant because the E in ICE stands for engine. But anyway, there's a lot of things we want to do to them. You know, we want to change the exhaust, or we want to, you know, put power adders. You're going to add a turbo. You want to, you know, have it blown. You want to, depending on what kind of car it is, you want to add nitrous. You want to do stuff to it. You want to do stuff to your car. Or at least I do, and most of the car guys I know do. But with the electric car, I can't really futz around with this thing. I can't change the internal combustion engine in here. There's no reason to add power to it, because it's the power that motor makes does not go to my wheels. The power that motor makes generates electricity that goes to my electric motor, and then that powers my car. So there's nothing to do to it to make it sound different, to make it run different. There might be things you can do in the computer or in the tune. I don't really know. I don't know that electronic stuff. I know that a lot of car guys with laptops that plug them in and like do all kinds of crazy fuel mapping and stuff. I like wrenches and measurements and grease and dealing with clearances and take this part off, put this physical part back on, like the programming elements. of the way people are customizing cars now. Way beyond me. It's cool. I got a lot of respect for it. It's just not something I can do, and I don't even know if it's something that's possible in a Volt, or like that you would even really want to. There's no reason. That's not what this car is. But the aesthetics of it can absolutely be changed. I love my interior. About the only thing that I want to do to my interior is get a pair of like neoprene seat covers for the rear, and the reason for that is this. I occasionally, when things are not so busy and I'm blessed with the time and everybody's available, get to go pick up my granddaughter and put her car seat in the back of it. And the car seat, like the way her car seat sits in there, is kind of really hard on the leather, and they're nice seats. And I just want to put a cover on it just for the car seat. So if you're planning on getting one of these with the leather seats, and car seats are a part of your life right now, car seats won't be a part of your life forever. Just get seat covers. That's what I recommend doing. I like the idea of maybe putting some kind of rack on the top. Does anybody have a Volt with a luggage rack on top, or a bike rack, or a Thule rack system? Let me know, because I'm looking at the car and I'm trying to figure out, because I've got the roof rails, I've got the accessory channels for it, but once I put that on there, if there's a bike up there, if I put a bike on top of the car to travel, out to some of the trails, I want to go to Red Rock or something with a bike, or do camping with like a container on top, will I be able to? Oh my God, somebody put the most hideous graphics on this Pontiac Grand Am GT. Oh Lord, and that car did not need any help being ugly. Ooh! Oh, all right, sorry, squirrel. But does anybody have a roof rack or anything on their Volt? And if you do, can you open your hatch? And can you open your hatch all the way and let it stand open? Because I see the setups, and I've seen a couple of pictures of Volts with the racks, and they look good. They look kind of, outdoorsy, and they look adventurous, and I like that, the kind of Subaru thing going on with them. And if you're going to have a hatchback and max versatility, like a rack is something you consider, but can I open my hatch with that rack? Question out of total ignorance. I legitimately just don't have the answer. And I want to know. And if you do, can you share pictures? That would be super cool. So I think that's about it for the Volt this morning. Those are the things I'd like to do in the future. I'd like your guys' input with it. I'd like to know what you think about, possibly putting the Cadillac wheels on it. What do you guys think about colors? What do you guys think about, things being blacked out? Or, like, what are your personal preferences for vehicle customization? I really want to know. Also, has anybody already customized their Volt? Has anybody already customized their electric car? I have seen some that have been lowered. And there's all kinds of crazy technology going on in the drive system of this thing, with the regenerative braking and stuff like that, and I don't have enough information to know. Like, this is another ignorant question. This might be totally bogus. Why am I even asking it? You might say if you have the answer, but does it complicate things to lower the car with this car? Well, like, what kind of things do we have to consider with that? With the extra weight of the vehicle, what kind of things do we have to consider with that? I don't imagine I could bag it. It'd be cool to roll up in the Volt and hit the bags and let the whole thing air out. I am absolutely ruined when somebody rolls up at a car show with a good airbag system. Hydraulics are good too, don't get me wrong, the juice is cool, but like, there's something about the airbags or the car just like laying all the way out, and like you hear that sound. I love that, and I've never had a car on bags, and I've always wanted a car on bags. This is probably not the car to put on bags. Like, if I'm being honest, this is probably not the one. I wouldn't even know where I would put the compressor, but I don't know. It's a happy idea, and I like the idea. Has anybody lowered their electric cars? If anybody, because everything needs to be lowered. The wheel gap, guys, brutal. We can't just leave it like that. I want to know. So I think I've rambled on enough about my Volt this morning, and I love it. So at 4,500 miles, this thing is still going strong. Best car I've ever had. It's extremely comfortable. It suits all of my needs and all of my purposes. I love being in it. I recommend it to absolutely anybody. If you can get your hands on one of these, do it. Do it. And don't be freaked out by the fact that the older generations have depreciated so much. That happens every time a new gen of car comes out. It depreciates the old gen. And all that does is make them more attainable for people like me, who I would have never been able to afford a new Volt. I can barely afford this Volt. So the fact that electric cars are now being made available and becoming more available and attainable to people on the lower income side of the scale, is really, really cool, because, well, we're the people who really need them. I was spending in the Volkswagen, God, I think my monthly gasoline budget was between $200 and $250 a month, depending on what gas prices did. Now think about that. Like, that's most of my car payment. That's ridiculous. So just being able to eliminate that right there made the car more affordable. But in the future, when the car's paid off and I no longer have that payment and I don't have that gasoline to deal with, I put fuel in it once every 3 weeks. And the last time I tried to put gas in it, even with the super premium fuel, because you do have to put premium fuel in these, but it's okay. It's a 9-gallon tank. It's not huge. It's all good. It still wouldn't take more than $20. So that's literally 10% of what I was paying before. Less than that on, a bad gas month, in the Passat. So it's interesting. So let me know what you guys think. Customizing your electric cars, yay, nay? What do you like? What are your preferences? What do you think? And if you guys have the new Volt and you happen to be in the Southern Nevada area or plan on being in the Southern Nevada area with your Volt at any point, please, please, please hit me up. I would love to do a video review with you, either with you on your car or just on your car, or I would love to see one of these things, and I would really like to meet somebody who personally owns one and not just a salesman who's trying to sell me on a car, because he's going to tell me it's awesome because he wants me to buy it and he wants me to tell other people to buy it. But I really want to know firsthand from somebody else how these new Volts are. Also interested in the Bolt with a B. I know I've got a couple of viewers on here who are loyal and watch all the videos and comment often, and who own and drive Bolts on the daily, and I hear that they are just really bitchin' cars, and I'd love to know more about one of those and get to see one of those. So let me know all that stuff in the comments. Other than that, I hope you all have a happy Friday and hope you're getting through it. Friday is always exhausting for me. I feel like I'm just like skidding in at the end of it, and so I try to take it easy on Fridays. Hope you all are doing the same, and it's going to be a good day. If this is your first time on the channel, thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing right over here. Here's some other things we think you'll enjoy right down here. My name is Catherine with EVs of Nevada, and thanks for watching. And please remember to like, subscribe, and smile.